We're live.
Yay.
Hello, Susie.
Hello, Brendon. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I am great.
I'm so grateful I get to do this with you. Yesterday I was thinking about it and I was like, I'm so excited for some reason. I don't know why. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe we're going to have a cool conversation or something. But I was like, I'm excited to do this Facebook Live with Susie. So there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been really looking forward to it too. So there must be something in the air. So what are we going to talk about, Brendon, you know?
Good question. Question. But this thing with bodies, I was looking at it. I was actually looking at this before we got on because I was like, what are we going to talk about? And we named it Are you listening to yours?
Hmm.
And I was looking at that and I was like, man, I have not done a good job throughout my life of doing that.
Mm.
And I mean, you know this, and a lot of other people do have heard me talk about it a little bit, but my journey with alcoholism and now in recovery and how different that has been this time for me in like including my body in it and looking at it and going, okay, like for me, one of the things that I know about me now is I have an allergy to alcohol. My body does. So I take one drink. It's see you later, Brendon. Bye bye. Brendon's gone. Where did he go? We don't know, but that's the mystery. Um, but I was looking at this because the thing of like not listening to my body over the years, it wasn't that I couldn't hear it. Because I remember, and I don't think I've actually ever anyone to talk about it. It's a good place to do it, Facebook. And you're going to get out your deepest, darkest secrets. You want to do it on Facebook. Um, but I was thinking about it before, and I remembered probably like it started probably like maybe 2 years ago, like when this started progressing a lot, the alcoholism, and one of the things I started asking was, okay, I started asking my body, how much longer do I have if I keep going like this
Mm.
before
Wow.
this is irreversible? And I would just ask, but usually it would be when I was drinking, right? So I'd be willing to have the awareness. I just wasn't willing to follow through on it.
Mm.
And I remember I'd get like it would be like 3 to 4 years. I'd get this awareness of 3 to 4 years, and this is going to be like irreversible. Basically,
Wow.
you could, and I was looking at that this morning, and I was like, holy shit. Like, because one of the things I looked at um was the thing with death, because you could look at it and a lot of us look at it and go, oh, it's something you kind of push away, and it's like, I don't want to look at that, I don't want to even talk about death, I don't want to all that. But it was like I knew it was coming and I was actively creating it without making a different choice. And when I look at that now, I'm just like, wow, isn't it interesting the avoiding that we do when it comes to what we know about our bodies? Like I
Mm.
knew this. It was blatantly obvious to me. And it was not done from, well, this is what alcohol does to you. This is what, you're killing your body based on what this everyone else says about alcoholism and that disease and all of that. It was pure knowing, oh, if you keep going, this is where you're going to.
Yeah. But isn't that true for so many things with our body though? I have to say, like, the obviously the journey that you have gone through or are in really or on really is very special, and special in a way that this is your story. And what is everyone else's story with their body? Because everyone has a story with their body. And I find so often also, like for myself even, like I have a hard time sometimes to really just be present with my body, and all this other stuff comes in, and we're so psychic, and so we start picking up everybody's thoughts, feelings, and emotions when we tune into anything. And for example, dieting. I mean, who hasn't done some kind of diet one time or another, or a cleanse or something? And how often is that basically from everybody's point of view about what's right for our bodies, instead of
So
really
true.
looking at body, what is it that you desire here?
So true. And I love that thing that you said. I didn't look at it like that, but we all have a story with our bodies. And I see, because I just saw how so many people do that. It's like, here's my story with my body. Here's how I function with my body. But then that, what you were saying with the awareness of it, everything that will match our story sticks to us as if it's our awareness of our own body.
Oh God.
And I realized that in me saying this stuff with what I've been going through with the addiction, and thank you for bringing it to that we each have our own story, because everything was sticking to that also.
Mm.
And we're so aware of, and you can say that as it kind of like, you could hear it as, oh, we're so aware. You hear it however you hear it, but if you look at it, like, how much does that lighten your world up when it's done from this space of, we each have our story with our body? My question is, what is your story with your body?
Mm.
Wow. Everything that is times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds.
Yeah. Wow.
Huh.
And are you willing to let go of that story? Because the thing that Gary and Dane often talk about is that we're not really willing to be undefined, and we're not willing to let go of some of the image that we have about ourselves and of our bodies. And if we're not willing, then can we really truly listen? Can we actually be present if we keep holding all this other stuff in place? It really makes it much more difficult, because you're looking through the filter of all of that, and listen through the filter of all of that, rather than actually perceiving and receiving what your body is desiring, which could be so different than what anyone is talking about, really.
Yeah, that is so true. That thing with like the filters, because a lot of people would go to this thing of, well, how do I actually know what is mine? Like, especially with regards to your body. I mean, one of the things I do is I go to the gym, right? And it's a gym in Houston that is a big gym. So it's full of people. And it's interesting because if I'm not present, like if I'm, a bit like just not being present, I will walk out of there judging myself, judging what's wrong with my body. I'll judge what's wrong with my body in there. And it's like, so all of these things, picking up on everybody else's points of view about their body. But that thing with knowing what is yours and what isn't, well, what if none of it ever was yours to begin with? Would that make it easier to recognize what is and isn't yours? If you just went, oh, none of it is. Okay, good. So everything I'm doing to buy this is mine, pock and pod that. And then that's being the question from the space of actually asking a question, not looking for, what do I already know about what I've decided about my body that I can access? What can I actually access?
That's pretty cool, because then what is really possible? We talk so much. Yeah, we talk so much about how our bodies are so miraculous. And in this reality, and in a lot of religions, bodies are seen as the thing you have to overcome to achieve anything that has to do with spirituality or with consciousness. You have to basically go beyond the body. The body is a sinful event. Don't don't play with it. Fingers off. Basically,
sweet little thing.
Exactly. So, and really in access consciousness, is so far I have not really seen any other modality that really includes the body in this way, where it's not about making the body wrong. It's not about shunning it or overcoming it or any of those things, but to really get a sense of like, hey, body, hi, and having fun with it. And of course, many people think, oh God, yeah, having fun with my body means I have to jump out of an airplane, or I have to go into the amusement park, or I have to have the greatest sex in the world, or whatever that is. But what if fun with your body could be so simple too, as just enjoying the sun on your skin, or, whatever it is for you, without making that wrong, or without going into conclusion about that. And, and what you were just saying about, yeah, wow, what if none of this insanity has ever been ours? And really, what can we explore for us? What's true for us with our bodies?
True story. You know, I got up this morning and did like, when you do that thing of like you get up in the morning and you just kind of go straight for your phone and then you go into everybody's worlds and you just like within moments you're just like, oh, just can I go back to bed and like put the pillow over my head? And I was like, wait a minute, this is so not my world. Okay, so what can I do? What can I do to give me that sense of space again? And so I got a pool here at my house. So I went and laid out at my pool and jumped in the pool. And I was just like, oh, there it is. So it's that thing of, because most of us, like we live our lives ignoring that. Like, it's like, all right, I'm into it now. I'm stuck in this now. Or, I've got this stuff going on with my body. Well, what if you gave yourself the space, connected with the earth, and then actually asked for the awareness of what it is that's going to change it? And what I've learned, like more now than ever, is you can pretty much instantaneously change the space from which you function in your life. You can go from I'm being a cranky asshole and controlling everything into existence. You can go from that to space if you're willing to give up your point of view. And it's the same thing with our bodies. You can go from the fight you have with your body to the space that's available if you're willing to give up your point of view.
Wow.
I love that thing of interesting how much of a fight we get in, like that thing of the fight with your body. Man, I was in such a fight with mine.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Yeah. So I wonder what we can contribute to people.
Yeah, I think we are actually, especially when you said connect with the earth. I think we often we forget that piece, and when you just said that, I immediately went, oh yeah, thank you. Really just, you can connect with the earth anywhere you are, even if you are in a skyrise right now. You don't have to be standing barefoot on the earth to have a connection. So pull the energy from the earth right now and pull that energy through your body and out the top of your head, and just allow the earth to really contribute to every cell of your body, and just, oh, thank you, earth,
That is, thank you for saying that, because this is about bodies, right? So I'm sitting here, we're having this conversation, and that thing goes on where it's like, how do I speak to this? What do I say? You try and get how to speak to it, but that energy is already there of contribution. Yeah. Wow. Isn't it interesting, that thing with image, how much we have available that we reject and that we refuse in order to project the image of what we've decided we should be into the world. Like, you would even look at doing something like this, like doing a Facebook Live or whatever, and be like, and I've seen where I've done this before, where it's like, how do I, say the right thing or speak to the right thing that people can hear it? Or how do I speak in a way that people can receive what they know? Or how can I speak in a way that they can receive what I've decided I need them to hear? Is more like it. That's more like it for all of us. How do I speak in a way that can get people to hear what I've decided they need to hear? But it's like, even in that, where's the contribution? I was talking to someone. I was talking to somebody before this, somebody who I just had bought in, and I said to her, okay, so what if you tried this? What if you let your body be in charge today instead of you? She was like, well, if I did that, I'd just stay in bed. And I was like, okay, fair enough. But it's like, how much that thing with the fight that we do, we decide that I'm the boss, I'm leading my body today. Well, I got some home play for all of you. How about if you actually get out of your own way and actually let your body be in charge today and see where it leads you.
Oh, and my God, how quickly all these conclusions come up. Just like your friend was saying, I would stay in bed all day. Well, is that actually true? Is the body really going to do that? You know, some people might go, oh my God, then I will eat all chocolate all day, or I will immerse myself in coffee, or, you know, I mean, whatever all those conclusions are that you have about what your body would choose if you let it, if you don't control it, for crying out loud, you know, your body would go haywire and crazy. Will you just try and create all that, please, times a gazillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, pobads and beyonds. Yeah, that is so true.
Oh, wow. Yeah, what would your body actually choose, you know? And it might surprise you. Because a lot of people have also these conclusions about, oh, my body, you know, doesn't like to do stuff. But if you actually ask your body, what does your body like to, what movement does your body enjoy? And if it doesn't have to be going to the gym, and it can be going to the gym if that's fun for you, and what else is possible with that? Like, what kind of movement does your body enjoy? And bodies do like to move, I have to say. Bodies don't enjoy sitting, you know, in front of a computer screen all day, or in a chair even all day. Like, bodies do like to move. And how often are we not listening to that? And so, yeah, what would happen if all day today you let your body lead the way?
True story. True story. You know, one of the other, I'm just like, I'm telling all my secrets at the moment. I'm like, I'm going to start like doing Facebook Lives every day and just call them Brendon's Secrets. Okay, good. This is how I expose myself to the world. Apparently, I don't have a point of view about that anymore. But one of the things I started with the recovery in my journey. Well, actually, I call it a journey with recovery, but it hasn't been. It's been a fucking fight for my life, basically. Honestly, you know, one of the things I started was because I was like, I need a couple of things just to get my head away from this, like something to contribute to my body as well. And one of the things I started doing was dancing lessons, right? And so I went to this thing last night that was this banquet for this dancing gala thing. And, you know, and you can dance and you eat and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's there drinking, getting wasted. And, which is fine for me right now. I'm so like comfortable with who I am that it's that part's not a problem. But as soon as I got there, and it was interesting going to dance, all of this energy came up of when I was, basically when I was younger with dancing. Like, put me near a dance floor, I would just be insecure. I'd be this, I don't want to, like, just, you know, I could never dance. There's, you know, all the shit that comes up, all that insecurity. And it was there again. And I looked at it last night with being present with it. And I was like, oh, none of it was ever mine. You know, and this was like, because you look at something like that, like how much, even with alcohol, because I'll talk about it from abusing it from that point of view. But if you look at it from like, what is it that you have in your life that you use in order to take yourself out of being present? You know, for me, it was that. It was like, I don't want to deal with all that shit, but I thought it was all mine. And last night when I realized that, it unlocked something with where I look at things, because I was like, wow, what actually is mine? Like that thing we talked about before. If you cleaned the slate, if you cleaned that away and you went from question of, oh, what actually is mine? Like, even if you look, I know we're talking about bodies, but if you look at what's going on financially for most people at the moment, what did you grow up with? You know, I know for me, finances were a struggle. Finances were all about fight. Finances were all about lack. Finances, you know, so if you look at that, how much of everything that you have dis-ease with in your life right now, with your body and your life, was never yours to begin with. Everything that is, everything that you've done to buy it is yours, and everything that you've done to make it real and true and you, will you destroy and uncreate it.
Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys, povads and beyonds. Woo.
Yeah.
Oy. There's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that. I mean, if you look at even like, if you could take one thing away from this, then if you looked at that, like if you looked at everything coming up for you today and you went, okay, so all the, well, you could just do who does it belong to, you know, and use that tool. And when it still sticks there, is go, okay, so if it's still heavy, like if you get who does it belong to and it lightens up at all, it's not yours. All you do, return it to sender with consciousness attached, boom. If it is one of those things you bought is real and true, which a lot of us have, definitely with our bodies, then you do everything that I did to buy it as mine. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all night, shorts, boys, purrs, and beyonds. Because we've talked about, I mean, I've talked about, you've talked about, we've all talked about how our point of view creates our reality. And so it takes one fixed point of view in order to create a limitation in any area of your life. So if you look at it, like this is what I love about consciousness, because it's so simple, yet so complex in the way that it's so complex in its entirety, basically. But it's like, if you look at a limitation and you'd go, okay, this is going on in my life, blah, 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 blah. In order to have that limitation, you have some point of view. Simple, right? You would go, oh, that kind of makes sense. Like if I'm fucked up with money, then I must have a point of view about I'm fucked up with money. Makes sense. But we keep looking at the limitation as if the limitation's real and true, rather than look for the point of view. What point of view do I have here that's keeping this in place? And like, I get that can be too easy for people, but anyway, everything matters. I'm having a day. I'm having a day of I'm just going to do all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory all day. That's what's happening. You can all have your points of view, right? Pardon,
but that was really a brilliant little twist, because the way that you just said that, because I think a lot of us go into what's wrong with me, what is the problem, rather than how am I creating this, to look for that insane piece that is holding this in place. And it's sometimes it's not just one thing, it's many things that we have basically used to make a story or build something up to prove to ourselves that we are right in our choices, which are no longer really choices. And that's the other thing, when you're stuck, you're no longer really choosing, you're just going along for a ride. So everything you have done, where you have taken on points of views about your body that aren't even true and real, will you now please destroy and uncreate all that times a gazillion?
Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, pervads, and beyonds. And well said, because it's that part. It's the only thing that keeps you stuck is the lie, and or the untruth that you've bought as truth. And it's like, because that's why, when you're like stuck in something and you're just like, I can't get out, I can't get out, I can't get out, I can't get out, but you've already made it so real. And it's like you're trying to find the truth in it. You're trying to find the truth with something that you've already made the lie more real than it. So I say that because it's like that thing of being stuck. I hear, even when I say it myself, I'm like, I'm stuck in this. No, I'm not. I'm being an idiot. And I've bought some lie as real and true right now because I know better than this shit. But it's like, we do that. So you want to ask, what point of view do I have here that's keeping me stuck in this? And what's the truth? What's the lie here? What's the lie here, spoken or unspoken, that I'm unwilling to acknowledge? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, beyonds. With all that stuff that you've decided you cannot change with your body. What's the lie here, spoken or unspoken, that I am making real or true? Huh. I like you. I like you, Suzy.
Oh, thanks.
I like doing stuff with you. This is fun. We can just sit on here all day, and we can just sit on here all day, and I can tell more secrets.
You could.
Oh, but I'm gonna have a talk show. That's what's gonna happen next. I'm gonna have a talk show, Brendon's Secrets.
Brendon's Secrets. I like it.
Come up with some more secrets.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some pretty perverted shit that runs around in my head. I'm just saying, but who does that belong to? See, maybe that was never my. I think that's the one thing, the perverted shit that runs around in my head. That's the one thing that I'm going to claim as mine. Always have. There you go. And for all of you out there that get perverted shit running around in your head, you can blame that on me because it started here. Okay. So there you go.
The creator of perverted shit, right there.
Yeah, right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is the source for all your perverted thoughts. There you go.
Oh goodness. Yeah.
Well, I hope this contributed.
Yeah.
Or at least lighten up your day.
Exactly. What if you really, and what we said earlier, Brendon said, your homework, and I forgot the exact words, but let your body lead the way today, or for the rest of your day, wherever you are, and just see what would your body truly like to do for the rest of your day today, and just follow that, and don't come to conclusion about anything, and just enjoy.
You know what what I love about that, because you touched on this when I said it, was that thing of getting out of control. And I realized, hearing everybody's, heads with that, and a bit of mine also, to be honest with you, that thing of like letting your body, like actually getting out of the way and letting your body lead today, is you would actually have to be willing to see how controlling you are.
Shh, Brendon, no, really?
Why nobody chooses it. And it's so interesting. And I just realized that with so many other things, with these looking, like if you're actually seeking awareness, you're going to have to be willing to have the vulnerability to see where you're stopping yourself from having that awareness. That's how it works. So if you're not willing to have the vulnerability, which is the walls down, to actually see where you create the limitations that stop it, then you're not going to get to the awareness. So in this, what if, two parts to it. So what if you actually did this of going, okay, body, so you're in charge today, lead the way. Show me what it is that's true for you. You ask that, but what if the second part of this is actually having the vulnerability with yourself to see how controlling you are? And then every time that comes up, who does that belong to? Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Because if this is anything, if you've noticed, the theme to all of this is, what if none of it was yours to begin with? So even these elements of control that you're using to well, whatever you use control for, we don't need to go into the justification of it, but what if you had the vulnerability with yourself to go, because I know this about me, I'm a controlling asshole. Is that another secret? Doesn't have to be a wrongness though, because you can look at it then and go, oh, okay, so there's some areas that you may need to have some control in order to create some order in the area that needs part of order. But also the power and the potency comes with when you're willing to have the acknowledgement of where you're choosing it. Because otherwise, anything you keep hidden from you cannot change, and it also cannot contribute. So in that, it's like, if you look at it and go, oh, okay, I'm willing to see where I'm controlling. Notice it when it comes up, and then at least you have choice with it. Because that's the thing that we do. That's the thing that we do when we avoid what we're actually choosing, is we eliminate the choice beyond it. Also, like with that, if you go, body lead the way, and then you actually get an awareness of how controlling you are with your body, now you have choice. Oh, I'm controlling. Okay, cool. I could give that up for like the next 10 seconds. Maybe. I adore you, Suzy.
I adore you too, Brendon. This has been really fun.
Thank you for helping me torment everyone.
It's wonderful, you know, and I just realized I haven't revealed any of my secrets, but I'm also not about to go to
Well,
do that.
well, okay. We're gonna have another live. It's gonna be Suzy's Secrets. It's this SS show, but I'm gonna host it because I'm like gonna like get them out of her. I tend to be
Oh,
good at getting secrets out of people. So there you go. Well,
okay.
all right, talk show coming soon. Just keep just there you go. Thank you all for joining us. I hope this contributed. I hope it, at least made you smile. Happy Sunday, and thank you, Suzy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.